Okay. Uh, the stream has started. Awesome. Today, this Sunday, I should say, we had a little snaggle happening in Swedish politics. The Sweden Democrats got 20% of the votes. While it's not over just yet, they are still counting the votes because it's this close between the blocks. For anyone not aware of Swedish parliamentary politics, unlike American politics, we have several parties. Let me just show you. Here are the different parties in government at the moment. This is others, so you can ignore this. These are parties who gained votes in the national election without actually coming over the threshold for what's required to be in government. Or in parliament, I should say. We have Liberalerna, or the Liberals in English, who I wouldn't be deceived by the name. They are not liberals. I would rather class them as more economically conservative with a socially liberal bent, perhaps. On a good day, that is. With the new leadership, it's going to be socially conservative even there. It's Liberalerna. It's not good. Let's see here. Wikipedia. Let's see what Wikipedia says. Yeah, classical liberalism, conservative liberalism, European federalism. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So they have some conservative streaks. They do not want to legalize things. They do not. They are for privatization. That's their thing. We have Miljöpartiet, or the Green Party in Sweden. Who are a Green Party. There's not much to say there. They are left leaning, but I believe they would be open to no, I don't think they would be open to working with a right leaning government. They are left leaning, but their main focus is the Green Party, or the green question, the green politics. We have, I have a viewer, it seems. Welcome. We have Kristdemokraterna, or the Christian Democrats, who's a religiously right-leaning conservative party. They are next to Sverigedemokraterna, or the Swedish Democrats, when it comes to socially conservative values. Then we have Vänsterpartiet, or the Left Party. They were previously called themselves communists, but now I believe they are just. They're left-leaning with some socialism sprinkled in there. They don't want to dismantle capitalism, really. That's not their thing. They want more government control, at least in the short term. Long term, maybe they'll change their mind, but in the short term, they want to bring us back to early 90s with government control of hospitals and schools and infrastructure. Then we have Centerpartiet, which is a libertarian party though they don't want to legalize drugs. So, I mean, sure, they're libertarian, but not so much. Not as libertarian as they could be. They are usually a right-leaning party. They usually create coalition with the Conservative Party, and but this year they went into the election with the expressed goal of creating a coalition government together with the Social Democrats, not the conservative right-leaning party, the Moderaterna, or the moderates. And then we have Sverigedemokraterna, or the Swedish Democrats. These motherfuckers are, I would go so far as call them crypto Nazis. Officially, they are a nationalistic and socially conservative party. That's not usually where things end, though, is it? Usually, they start being socially conservative, and then they move on to become more. And I'll get to everything, but there have been a lot of scandals with them, and I guess I'll start with the most recent. But before then, they had an amazing election. See here, Sverigedemokraterna. They went from being the third biggest party to now being the second biggest party. 3 percentage points, 3.1 plus percentage points this election. That is amazing and terrifying at the same time. Jimmy Åkesson, their party leader, for all of his faults, and I've met him personally, but for all of his faults, he is an amazing politician. An amazing politician. I remember seeing when I was younger, when they had, I believe they had just won their first election, and I saw from their, what's it called? Partistämma. Translate.google.com. Well, it's a party, a party vote. Is it really a party vote? They had a gathering where they were gonna bring forth their party policies, and they used to be in favor of the death penalty. They wanted to reinstate the death penalty in a previous party policy. And one guy, I remember, he wanted to create, or he wanted to reenact that, or reinstate that. But as soon as the vote was over, what happened, because they do a vocal vote first, Jimmy said he wanted a count vote. And that's when I realized how smart he was. Because if he didn't, anyone could say anything about how much. Is this really interesting? I don't know. But I don't give a fuck. Never mind. It's a boring story. He's a smart politician, and that's kind of scary. That is kind of frightening, actually. What's this? There is. Should we start with? Should I just read this article? Well, let's start there. Let's see what this article says, and I'll fill in the blanks. Swedish election. Far right makes gains, but overall results on knife edge. The Sweden Democrats became the second biggest party after vote on Sunday. The far-right Sweden Democrats Party was the biggest winner in the country's election on Sunday, increasing its share of votes by 2 to 3 percentage points and becoming the second largest party, but the overall result was too close to call as counting continues. With 95% of the votes counted, the right-wing bloc had 49.7% of the vote, which would give it a majority of one seat in parliament over the incumbent left-wing bloc. Exit polls on Sunday night at first suggested a narrow victory for the Social Democrats and their center-left allies. But as the votes were counted, the tally swung towards the right. And it's heartening to say that there are people among the liberals who, prior to this this election, actually said, or prior to with their previous party leader, they said they would never cooperate with Sweden Democrats. Their previous leader said Sweden doesn't dress in brown. The new leader, he wants power first and foremost. Oh, okay, yeah, you can see here. 48.8% for the left and 49.7% for the right, including the Sweden Democrats, though. And that's gonna be. Let's see. There was a news story I wanted to read. Well, anyway, there are some liberals or people in the Liberal Party who said if Sweden Democrats is included in a government coalition, they will not vote for that coalition. And with one vote's difference, or one mandate's difference, that's gonna be enough. That's gonna help us, save us from Sweden Democrats actually taking office. A conclusive result may not be known until the votes from Swedes living abroad are counted in the middle of the week, while the closeness of the race may yet complicate the formation of a working government. The leader of the Sweden Democrats said earlier on Monday that the right-wing bloc was likely heading for victory. Right now, it looks like there will be a change of power, Jimmy Åkesson said in a speech to party members. The incumbent Social Democrat Prime Minister Magdalena Andersson told cheering supporters on Sunday night, "We're not going to have a final result tonight." Andersson, 55, called on Swedes to have patience and let democracy run its course. The prospect that the far-right Sweden Democrats, who appear to take more than 20% of the poll, may for the first time achieve direct influence over government policy marks a seismic shift in a country far better known for its liberal traditions. The SD emerged from Sweden's neo-Nazi movement in the mid-1990s and still struggles to shake off accusations of extremism. It was treated as a pariah by other parties, but 3 years ago, the center-right moderate party embraced cooperation with the far right. Leadership shift again. The SD has increased its vote at each of its past 9 general elections. Its leaders are demanding ministerial office, but the other 3 parties in the bloc have said that they will not invite the party into government itself. However, the SD's position as the largest party in the right places them in a strong position. It's really amazing that the second largest party and the largest party within its bloc isn't assumed to take the prime minister office. It's really remarkable. I don't know if that's ever happened before, actually. The SD is currently by far the biggest party in the world with Nazi roots, said Tobias Hübinette, lecturer in intercultural studies at Karlstad University and a leading anti-racist. I'm guessing academically leading. Even if the party officially condemns its own race ideological roots, this background is today still present in the sense that the SD is still seeing itself as the only political force that can save the native white Swedish majority population. Åkesson told a crowd of cheering supporters on Sunday evening, "Our goal is to sit in government. Our goal is a majority government. It's looking pretty damn good now." The party secretary, Richard Jomshof, told public television SVT he didn't believe other parties would be able to freeze out the Sweden Democrats again and expect to have a strong influence on the country's politics. "We are so big now, it is clear we should have a spot on parliamentary committees." You know what? He's kind of correct. He's kind of right. If the only way that the right will be able to govern, you can see here, is if they have the support of SD, and the only way SD would even entertain the idea of supporting such a government is through is by being able to be in the government in some capacity. And I'm assuming they want the immigration position. So the way Sweden and the parliamentarian system works is we as citizens votes on which party we want to give our vote to. That's it. We say a party and then they get our vote. You can elect individuals, but that is very rare. Usually it's just you vote for the party. The party has elected internally their candidates, and then once the election is over, you have the mandates. What's it called? You have the mandates in governments based on the number of votes, of course. You can see here Sweden, the Social Democrats has 108 mandates, while Sweden Democrats have 73. And then those mandates votes on who should be in government. That's it. So we don't vote for our prime minister. We vote for the party that chooses the prime minister. Unlike the US. So that's why we have this outdrawn election time, where even though our election is over and even though every mandate has been elected, we still might not know who's going to be the prime minister, even though they might get most votes. Continuing, who said this? Richard Jomshof, the party secretary, party of Sweden Democrats. Richard Jomshof, the Sweden Democrats secretary, said the party had a chance to be an active part of a government that would move politics in a completely different direction. At the height of the campaign, the SD built a metro train decorated in its electoral colors as the Repatriation Express. Welcome aboard with a one-way ticket. Next stop, Kabul. Here we can see it. Looks lovely. Tweeted the party's legal spokesperson, highlighting the SD's demand to remove non-European immigrants. Now, that might seem kinder than what the Nazis did in Germany. They just want to repatriate them. Just force them to move away from Sweden. That seems nice. They don't want to exterminate them. They just want to remove them. Just move, you know? And that might seem fine to some. The issue comes when you realize that so did Nazi Germany. That's how Nazi Germany started. Hitler wanted to remove Jews. No, that's not gonna be good. Hitler wanted to expel Jews. Yeah. Prime Minister Netanyahu. Oh my God, really? Really? Hitler and his management planned the final solution decades before 1941. Many have answered in the affirmative. However, extermination of those developments that led to the final solution raises serious questions. Although some have declared that the Nazis, with Hitler at the helm, did indeed plan the mass execution even before the 1930s, nowhere is there any pronouncement of this before 1939. The plan the Nazis did have was to evict all Jews from Germany. They wanted to evict them. Sweden Democrats want the same thing. If they could, they'd remove anyone of non-Swedish heritage. My brother, my idiot brother himself, voted for the Sweden Democrats. He openly supports them. We have non-European background. That's how stupid he is. That's how stupid a lot of people who vote for Sweden Democrats are. Because, believe it or not, immigrants vote for them too. The election has revealed Sweden to be a nation deeply ill at ease with immigration, with the SD able to exploit fears of over violent crime. And this is true. We have a very high amount of violent crime at the moment. I have no doubt that this is exacerbated by our immigration policies, but I highly doubt that this is due to our immigration policies. Voter concerns such as energy price rises, failing schools, and long queues for healthcare were drowned out by a relentless focus on immigration and crime. The campaign was punctuated by further incidents of gang violence, the prevalence of which during the past 5 years and the failure of government and the police to prevent them has helped the SD to cement support for its central message that immigration is to blame. The issue with all of this, it's true that this is all happening. The issue here is that SD actively exacerbates them too. Now, that's not to excuse the violence. It's just to point that SD are accelerationists. The worse they can make the lives of people in Sweden, the more votes they will gain in the future, and that's their MO. They have a verified troll army. SD's trollarmé. They have a verified troll army. Let me see if I can. How's the translation for this? And I'll read it later. They have actively supported. They have actively supported and promoted this dude. Always translate Swedish. There we go. They have actively supported this dude, Rasmus Paludan, who's gone to the ghettos, the Swedish ghettos, and burnt a Quran. Like, what the immigrants do to the in response to this is not excused, but it is exacerbated by the Sweden Democrats themselves. They create their own headlines. Continuing. 2 weeks ago, a woman and her 5-year-old child were injured after being caught in crossfire in Eskilstuna, west of Stockholm. In Malmö, a week earlier, a 15-year-old boy shot dead a gang leader in a shopping mall. The number of fatal shootings rose sharply to 34 in the first 6 months of this year, up from 20 in the same period of 2021. Party leaders on both left and right linked the rise in violent crime with large-scale immigration, which has led to high levels of segregation along ethnic lines in the housing and jobs markets. In the space of a few decades, Sweden has become one of the most multicultural societies in Europe, with more than a third of the population having been born abroad or having a parent who was born abroad. About 30% of children do not have Swedish as their mother tongue, rising to 45% in parts of the cities. This is true. Sweden demographics. However, most immigrants, I believe, are from Finland. And see here, let's see, fertility cities. Sweden's population, making 15 most, blah, blah, blah. Not what I'm looking for. Age, median birth rate, life expectancy, urbanization, population projection, ethnicities. Can I... More than half are Swedish citizens. The most common countries of origin are Syria, Finland. So they are second. Finland is second. Iraq, Poland, Iran, Somalia. I mean, it's Syria and then Finland is 1.4%. I'm guessing this is of all of the population. I don't know. But yeah, Finland is up there and no one would argue that Finns can't be seen as Swedes. They'll argue, or Polish people for that matter, actually, in the current state. They'll argue that Syrians and Iranians and Iraqians and Somalians, they can't be. But the Finns, sure, they can be Swedes. Sure, why not? Was that it? See here, is there anything else here? Do they mention any? The Sweden Democrats Youth Organization. Yeah, oh yeah, in 2050, oh my god, yes. The whole youth party had to be purged because it was too extreme. That's I mean, And here's the thing, I don't believe they'd purge them if the extremism inside the party was acceptable. They only do this to keep face. That's it. So here is SD's secret troll army, and this was uncovered this election, August 26th. Inspired by Trump and Nazi German war tactics, the Sweden Democrats have secretly built up a troll army. The party's paid online haters pump out covert propaganda to hundreds of thousands of followers via anonymous Facebook pages. With the help of unique sources, Dagens ETC can now reveal that Jimmy Åkesson gives the online warriors orders to start drives in the election campaign and whip up hatred against the authorities. It is an ordinary morning at the Sweden Democrats Communications Department in Stockholm. Blah, blah, blah. I don't want to read all of that. It starts early in the morning on Thursday, March 29, 2018. Twitter woke up to chatter about the National Board of Health and Welfare's new folder, Information for You Who Are Married with a Child. Is that supposed to be to a child? Yeah, that's supposed to be to a child, actually. People were upset by the tonality, even though the text stated in several places that child marriage and sex with minors is a crime. The anger against the National Board of Health and Welfare looked like a public storm, but now, 4 years later, we know how secretly set fire to the train. The train? Yeah, okay. The train meaning the storm, the firestorm. At 7 o'clock in the morning, Jakob Hagnell saw the Bushur debate on Twitter and tipped off colleagues in Battlefield's group chat. Battlefield's group chat is their internal name for it. It's going to be, Battlefield's. We are paid by the party to wage war online. The group's name comes from us taking the fight out on the battlefield in the comment section and on social media, says a source. Sweden Democrats have studied how Trump won the presidential election thanks to, in part, to a meme-driven online offensive. Humorous images and video clips have proven to be extremely effective means of attracting young people online to radical right-wing ideas. Communications manager Joachim Wallerstein was also inspired by German tactic from World War II. He said we would operate according to what Germans called Auftragstaktik. We would take independent decisions when there was no time to wait for an order, says another source. And on this Thursday morning, the group took immediate action. Pumped out posts on at 7:22 a.m. A web article was created on the SD-linked site Samhällsnytt. 3 minutes later, the politically incorrect Facebook page posted a post to its 87,000 followers with the text, "The New Exciting Sweden," and linked to the folder. Seconds after posting, the post is shared by the by Sverigebilden account run by Roger Salle Salström. He is convicted of violent crimes and has a background in right-wing publications such as Dispatch International, Nya Tider, and Avpixlat. Dispatch International, that sounds familiar. Anti-Islamic, online news published in Sweden, Danish, and English. Swedish language newspaper. According to Dagens ETC's sources, He was recruited in the fall of 2017 to SD's online warrior group. He has also been a presenter on the party's YouTube channel, Riks. You can turn to the responsible publisher with your questions, says Roger Saltström. It was his party in the battlefield partner in the battlefield group, Jakob Hagnell, who posted the first posts about the brochure. When Wallerstein saw the reactions, everyone was ordered to just pump out posts about the National Board of Health and Welfare, says a source. Remember in the US election or in US politics, how every new news cycle there's something new to be worried about from the right wing. It's either critical race theory, socialism, it's anything, it's transgenders, anything and everything that can be turned into dog whistles or to news stories with no regards to the truth will be turned in to news stories, talking points with no regards for the truth. Manipulating the facts. In this year's election campaign, the shootings and gang crime have raised security issues on the agenda. But the Sweden Democrats have for years fueled the notion that immigration is pushing Sweden to the brink of societal collapse. One of the party's most important weapons in the culture war was the anonymous Facebook page Support the Swedish Police and Code 291. That's Code 291. I'm guessing it's something to do with police immigration. This police kept facts about refugee crimes as secret under Code 291. Okay, yeah. Okay, so it's about Swedish cover-up or police cover-up. Great. In DN's and SVT's reviews, SD has denied all connections to the pages. But now Dagens ETC can reveal that it is SD's online warrior who write the posts. Interestingly enough, I believe that they deleted these groups actually. Let's see here. Stöd Svenska Polisen. Nope, okay. That's going to be a different page then. But yeah, you can see here. It's all just going to be phrenology, pretty much. In DN's and SVT's there we go. In DN's and SVT's reviews, SD has denied all connection to blah blah blah. There we were there. The connection is deliberately selective. The postings in the group of a handful of crimes exaggerates the problem. Support the Swedish police is also an incredibly valuable page for the party because the police authority usually shares the posts, says a source from within the party. In addition to a one-sided focus on perpetration with a foreign background, SVT has shown that Support Swedish Police also manipulates the facts in their posts. The Sweden Democrats are also behind the pages Politically Incorrect and Sverigebilden. They launched daily attacks against the red-green parties, but also against individuals such as Aftonbladet's Anders Lindberg, the historian Henrik Arnstad, and the comedian Özz Nujen. What are internally called the slush pages are in practice digital weapons of mass dissemination in the hands of Jimmy Åkesson. There are often direct orders from the party board that today we are going hard against the Green Party or the Social Democrats before a debate or the like, says a source. And on March 29, 2018, the group was ordered to attack the Social Democratic government. released the troll. At 8:06 a.m. in the SD's official account tweeted, "By then, the party's online war..." Okay. By then, the party's online warrior had already managed to pump out several posts via the anonymous Facebook pages. A quarter of an hour later, the SD-related site Samhällsnytt publishes the first web article about the child marriage brochure. First of all, media. For, okay. This is the first one to do it, pretty much. During the day, the propaganda group printed one racist image after another. Based on a carefully planned strategy, they unleashed their army of troll accounts in the comment section and on Twitter. We have lots of SIM cards to register fake Facebook users. I have 15 accounts with generic names like Erik Svensson. When we ourselves write rude things in the first 4-5 comments, it sets the tone for the rest of the comment flow, says a source. To an outsider, the online storm appeared as a popular drive against wording in a folder. Whenever they say drive, I don't know if drive is the right word for it. Yeah, it's from an outsider, the online store appeared to as a popular as to be driven by popular opinion against wording in a folder. But in fact, an SD orchestrated proxy online war was going on against the Social Democrats. The atmosphere was euphoric. The week before, Jimmy Åkesson had tried to spin that the government parties had voted no to a law against child marriage, which was not entirely true. According to the government, they voted no to the proposal because they have already appointed an inquirer into a similar bill. But then the brochure came as a gift from above. Jimmy Åkesson caught the moment and did not spare the gunpowder when he claimed in a video that the Social Democrats normalize child marriage. The established media picked up, and in a single day the child marriage brochure was mentioned in 123 articles, according to Retriever. The moderate Tobias Billström, that's from the moderate party, and the entire right-wing Twitter went wild. The exclamations continued to echo in the leading pages, and finally Social Affairs Minister Lena Hallengren distanced herself from the National Board of Health and Welfare, which immediately withdrew the brochure. They're so fucking such fucking cowards. Holy fuck. They'd rather not be in the middle of a storm than be correct. It's they'd rather not be in the middle of a storm than do the correct thing. It's really disheartening. All this happened in a single morning. A few days later, Hallengren felt compelled to go outside and assure the Swedish people that the government was opposed to child marriage. It's such... Oof. I wish I was a right-winger. It's so easy. So fucking easy. All you have to do is lie. You can lie, and everyone has to just assert that you are not correct. That's they have to engage with you based on the lie, and it's so fucking disheartening. The magic tactic worked, and inside Katrinevägen 19, where they are located, the atmosphere was euphoric. And just a few months later, they succeeded again. Sent video to Chang Frick. On the 1st of May 2019, the Social Democrats... what? Okay. The Social Democrats, a train of people, flowed into Malmö's People's Park with Ilmar Reepalu at the head. As the SSU section, and SSU is their youth party, the Swedish Social Dem. What's it stand for? Social. Okay, yeah. Okay, the Swedish Social Democratic Youth is the name of the party. As the SSU section entered the park, they chanted "Long live Palestine" and "Crush Zionism." Seems perfectly reasonable to my ears. But no one on the spot knew that one of the people filming the train with his mobile phone was sent by SD's communications department. The video was sent to Chang Frick, former party member, who published it in an article on the site Nyheter Idag. SD's Troll-Off factory went into high gear at the same time as the news spread in the mainstream media. Chang Frick says he doesn't remember who sent the video. I think I got the clip from the Young Swedes. That's the disgraced Sweden Democrats youth party. But if a video has news value, it doesn't matter who held the camera. The Jewish congregation in Malmö said that the SSU wants to crush the state of Israel, and the moderate leader Ulf Kristersson demanded that the Sweden Democrats draw up a white paper. S was once again forced to poodle. To poodle is to withdraw or to apologize, pretty much. Att pudla in Swedish. It's a slang term. It's a modern word. It's a modern term. And SD's secret net warriors claimed another win. The video from Malmö is just one in the example of how SD systematically spreads information, images, and video material to newsrooms that are close to the party. It gives us nice headlines that can be shared on the channels. We get the message out, but under a more independent flag. The party has close relations with the alternative media on the extreme right. Several of the sites are run by former SD profiles such as Kent Ekeroth and Erik Almqvist. In recent years, the sites have sought and been granted media support in various forms. In Sweden, if you have, I believe it's 5,000 subscribers, paying subscribers, you actually get government funding because you are deemed to have enough legitimacy in as a news outlet by then. Why SD's representative in the media support board voted to reject Nya Dagbladet and News Voice it caused greater anger in the alternative media. When SD's representative in the media support board voted to reject Nya Dagbladet, what? Okay. The party then changed its representative to SD official Erik Larsson, who later contributed. So I'm guessing there are rules within there are rules on why or when you can be denied the government support if you have enough paying subscribers to get it. Oh, hey, viewer. The party then changed representative SD official Erik Larsson, who later contributed to the decision being overturned. Nya Dagbladet was granted innovation and development support, but Erik Larsson sits on double chairs. He has for several years been part of the Battlefield Group, which has close relations with the same alternative media that have been granted media support. Can I get a hello in chat? Hey, Rafkrim, thank you. I had the wrong tab open. Top chat didn't show Rafkrim. Now it shows. Okay, that's weird. SD Party in Stockholm. On a brilliant August evening in 2022, Jimmy Åkesson tears down applause from a stage in the heart of Södermalm. Sympathizers passers-by, and the party's political stars flocked to Medborgarplatsen in Stockholm. In the bustle, Roger Salström pokes around with his camera and takes pictures of underaged counter-demonstrators from Young Left. That's the Left Party's youth section. Next to the stage are the presenters from the YouTube initiative Riks and interviewing the audience. The Trollfabriken is or the Troll Fabric, the Troll organization is, according to our sources, still highly active, but some people have been replaced. Jakob Hagnell has been promoted to editor for Riks. The TV investment has cost the party 45 million. That's around 4.5 million euros. But generates only 60,000 unique viewers a month, according to Dagens ETC's sources, which I'm very happy about, I have to say. Paying that much per view? God damn! Dissatisfaction is growing, and few believe that Riks will be allowed to remain in its current form if the party backs down in the election. Unfortunately, they didn't. They gained in the election. So we're still gonna see Riks. At the stage is SD's press secretary, who promises an interview with Jimmy Åkesson after the speech. Aftonbladet, Reuters, AFP, and Danish radio are released one after the other inside the cordon. What? Inside the what? Okay, is it cordon? Is it really?
Cordon.
Oh.
Cordon.
Cordon. A line or circle, please.
Cordon.
Okay. Their interviewers are about official. Their interviews are about official actions in the election campaign, but we want to know how the party leader justifies that his party runs a troll army. Jimmy Åkesson suddenly runs out of time. We don't have time for any more interviews, says the press secretary. Yeah, that's how it usually goes, isn't it? What's this? Yeah, this is Roger Salström, the guy with the camera taking pictures of underage people. Pretty normal. This, I believe it's this bitch we're gonna look at now. Because there was a thing that happened on election night. God damn. There was a thing that happened. Oh, let's see here. Can we not get a... Nope. And let's go Helge Seger. Sure. This is a workers' newspaper with a heavy socialist bent. Let's see here. I'm gonna play this, and I want to know if anyone, if you can hear what is said. This is, but you can see here how drunk she is. She's trying to make him drink it. She spills a little there, misses him, unfortunately. He asks her how she feels about the situation. Very important word. How does she feel about the situation? And here is how she responds. It's quite low, isn't it? Let's see here if I can't up the volume for you. Do you hear that? Helgseger. Helgseger. Helgseger, or as other people would say, Hellseger. This might not come as that much of a surprise, but it's the Swedish translation of Sieg Heil. Holy victory. 2 words to welcome a coming Nazi victory was for a long time the main rallying cry for the NMR, Nordisk Motståndsrörelse, or the Nordic Resistance Movement, as you can see here. But not anymore. Today, the long arm of the law forces victorious Nazis to guard their tongue. The concept Hell Victory has for several decades functioned as a rallying cry for the Swedish extreme right in general and the Nordic resistance movement in particular. The term's popularity is due to it being a translation of the German Sieg Heil. Hellseger is also the title of the book that one of the resistance movement's former prominent figures, Magnus Söderman, wrote about his time in the organization. Söderman is today the vice chairman of Det fria Sverige. What is Det fria Sverige? Magnus Söderman. Okay, yeah, still a nationalist. But in the aughts, he was considered to be the resistance movement's main speaker. In the book, he recounts how he began by ending his speeches with Hell of Victory as a tribute to the organization's National Socialist route. It is also at one of his speeches at the People's March in 2008 that the concept's journey through the legal system begin. After finishing with a resounding Hell of Victory, oh my god, I can't read, and an armed movement not unlike Hitler's salute, Söderman and several in the group audience are suspected of incitement against an ethnic group. The investigations are closed against all but one person, a young man in the audience. A young man in the audience is sentenced. Despite that, NMR continues to use the term for several years without the police reacting. But since the organization's current leader, Simon Lindberg, was convicted for ending a speech in the same way as Söderman at the demonstration in 2016, the concept has been reluctantly phased out. A couple of years later, Lindenberg had to content himself with ending a speech in Bodø with Hell Scottish. Let's see here. Okay, no. Hell Skotta. It's a term of damn it, pretty much. I would translate it to damn it. Most Swedish terms like that, I would translate it to damn it. But it doesn't really translate. Hell Skotta doesn't really translate into English. Yeah, so what she says here, hell, she's not technically saying hell seger, or the Swedish term for Sieg Heil. She is saying a grammatically incorrect weekend victory. But she says a victory weekend, if you're gonna be grammatically incorrect about it. Oh yeah, mask off. Complete mask off. This bitch is, she is the face of their YouTube channel. She's the face of it. And then she goes on to save herself by saying, not weekend, not victory weekend. It's a weekend victory. But she didn't deny later on. She didn't deny when questioned about this. She never denied saying it was a reference. We can see it here. If we... I know there is... If I go... No? Maybe here? Yeah, here. Just give me... What? Oh my god. Yeah, okay, so she doesn't deny that it was a Nazi reference. She knows it's a Nazi reference. It was deliberate. And I have to question if this is... I believe this is how they talk internally. They know they can't say Sieg Heil. They know they can't openly say Hell Seger. But they are being cheeky about it. They know what they're saying. They know the references they are doing. And when they say Seger Hell, the grammatically correct way to say weekend victory, which they said leading up to the election day, which was this Sunday, even Jimmy Åkesson, the leader of the Sweden Democrats, said helg, or said Seger helg. This is a dog whistle, 100%. I have no doubt that they deliberately made this a dog whistle. For sure, it's a dog whistle of their Nazi proclivities. And they have 20% of the vote in the Swedish election. 20 fucking percent of the vote. That's how fucked we are at the moment. They are apparently the largest Nazi party in the world at the moment. Largest party with Nazi roots. Fine. Whatever. This is disturbing, and I am very worried for the future at the moment. So what are the left progressives and the social democrat... Let me just... Can I... Yeah, pop out. So what are the left, progressive, and social democratic party to do to stop fascistic policies? That's an excellent question. At the moment, don't think we really have that much of answers, unfortunately. What we do know, what we do know, if we can enter this. So this, I will not attempt to pronounce this name, but she is from the Liberals, who is a right wing party, who doesn't want to coalition with the Sweden Democrats, but they want the support for a right wing coalition government from the Sweden Democrats. But she promised to bring down the government if the Sweden Democrats are included in a government coalition. And since it's gonna be down to one mandate in Parliament, one vote is all we need. That's all we're gonna need. Fortunately, this year. In 4 years, who knows? In 4 years, who knows if they're not going to be the biggest party in Sweden. And it scares me. It genuinely scares me. I am absolutely willing to remove myself from Sweden if that happens, without a doubt. And but hopefully I won't have to. Now, some other scandals that Sweden Democrats have been included in, which might worry some, which might make some people worried. Let's see here. Where is it? Where is it? This is old. That's not what I'm interested in. Yeah, here we go. Why isn't it translating? Can I translate this? What? Okay, anyway. For those who can read Swedish, you can confirm what I'm saying here. The Sweden Democrats have had several scandals where they had connections to Russia. There was even has been money exchanging hands, and there was recently a scandal where the party was taking in contributions, dark contribution that they didn't want to that they wanted to conceal, and the way they conceal it, apparently, which was exposed, is by funding related projects. So you don't fund the party directly. You fund a YouTube channel. You fund a corporation, which is run by Swedish Democrats. You fund external things, external media entities. That way, you don't have to disclose who funded, who gave this funding, because they didn't give it to you. They gave it to other people. There was also there was Igor Putilov. Let's see if there's no English. Okay, let's see. Can we translate? Yes, we can. And let's zoom in. Igor Putilov is a pseudonym for an alternative media journalist. Before the person behind the pseudonym, Igor Putilov, became associated with alternative media, he worked for establishment media such as Expressen, blah, 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 blah. He was also in administration for the Migration Agency. From around 2016, he has worked in nationalist context as an official with the Sweden Democrats and in the right-wing alternative media of Pixlat. Funnily enough, of Pixlat, this is... Okay, let me tell you my interaction with Jimmy Åkesson. I used to be the chairman of the local student union for my university. During my time as chairman, Jimmy Åkesson, the Sweden Democrat, they went on a tour around Sweden, to different universities and to find out what we were doing there. I have no doubt that their intentions were, what can we use to gin up support and an anti-liberal agenda. Anyway, as the different unions took different approaches, my approach was, I want to know what he thinks. I want to know what he sees, what he says, what he asks, and because of low election participation, I wanted people to be mad at me for greeting him. I wanted the heat from this because I wanted people to realize that if they don't engage in their student union elections or student union politics, anyone can coup their way into the position of power there, and that can be really dangerous. So I thought, you know what? Let me talk with him. Let me be near him. So I decided that I would go there. Others decided they wouldn't. I even shook hands with him and was caught on camera and used as B-roll. My interview with a local media, or national media actually, didn't include it. It wasn't included. But my handshake with him was included. I was very critical of him in my interview. But they made it look like I was in favor of him. I was not happy with that. Anyway. Where is it going with this? Yeah, anyway. I got so fucking mad at this. So fucking mad. Holy shit. But credit where credit is due. Whoop. Did not intend to do that. Credit where credit is due to Jimmy Åkesson. He is a very, very charismatic person. He is a very, very, very pleasant person to deal with in interpersonal relations, in an interpersonal relationship. So I understand why people like him on a personal level. His politics, however, and what I believe is his underlying politics, that I do not understand at all. Anyway, we're back on Putilov. Oh, right. Oh, Pixlat. That's where I was going with this. Holy shit. I can't wait to get my Adderall. Pixlat. After this, after I had shook hands with him, this fucking site had an article written. In that article, they said that I had refused to shake his hand. That I refused to meet with him. I contacted them. I wrote them an email and said, I was deliberately vague here. I was deliberately vague. And I said, you might want to check your sources. Or you might want to check what really happened. And I say, you know what? We're sorry. Absolutely. We will correct the record. And I checked the article again. I'm no longer the head or the chairman of my local university. I'm now the chairman of Sweden's most prestigious university. I was very happy with that. But it just goes to show how little research these guys does. It's unbelievable how little research they do. Yeah. Founded in 1477. 1477! Let's see here. Wikipedia. Wiki. I just want... oh, right. Okay, so... race biology was created here. That's the legacy of this institution. Notable people. Carl Linnaeus. If you have ever read a Latin name for an animal, you've read his writing. I'm not kidding. Any Latin name for any animal, more or less, you've read his writing. That's his naming. We have Niklas Zennström, the founder of Skype. I mean, this is not a no-nonsense university. And they just said, you know what? That guy who's not... I was not the head of such a prestigious place. No. Not at all. Anyway, so that's the kind of people we are working with here. And its successor, Community News. I have not heard of this. Actually, okay, Samhällsnytt. Yeah. Between February 1st and July 9th, 2021, he was editor-in-chief of Samhällsnytt. That's this. Behind the pseudonym Igor Putilov stands a person whose first known name is Yuri Popov, and who in Sweden has had the names of Alexander blah blah blah. He has many names. He has used additional names in mass media and social media. Is of Russian origin. That's not necessarily. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's an agent of Russia. Just because you come from a place doesn't mean you are a certain way. Let's not get that crazy. But this dude is absolutely a Russian agent. Possibly from the village of Luxembourg in Dagestan. What? Okay, there's... Oh my god. Just turn... Okay. Okay, right around here. Is that the Black Sea or is that the Black Sea? No, this is the Black Sea. There's Ukraine, there's Sweden, Finland. So must be the Black Sea, right? He's known for the Putlov affair, and this is it. The origin of the Putlov affair was the Igor Putlov, under a civil registration name Alexander Fridback, worked at the Sweden Democrats' parliamentary office in Stockholm, while at the same time he had the originator of what was described as disinformation. The disinformation accusation was based on the fact that he wrote anti-immigration debate articles under the pseudonym Igor Putlov, and at the same time published a provocation pro-refugee article, give asylum seekers and undocumented migrants the right to vote. Oh shit! Did he? Oh, he was the guy. Yeah, you see here, they are creating their own news stories. Holy shit! This. Let me go on a tangent here. This reminds me of when I was in is it high school. Must be where there was a an article about male birth prevention. Male, what's it called? Male, not sterilization. Holy shit. Birth control. That's the wording. Male birth control, and it was written by what they claimed were three women or three men who said, why isn't there any male birth control similar to the pill for women? When can we get it? Why don't the scientists, why doesn't the Swedish government fund this type of research, etc., etc., etc.? Why can't we just take hormones? Period. It wasn't written by three men. It was written by three women. Three, I believe, I would classify them as second wave feminists. You know, the horrible but less horrible than the first wave feminism. Uh, these people, they claimed to be of the people who would benefit from it without being it, because they wanted to create a political debate. They didn't have any intention of actually benefiting from it, if I might say so. Have being dishonest about who you are when writing an article like that is extremely, extremely dishonest, extremely harmful, and can only hurt the movement. I want that type of prevention. I want that type of birth control. I don't want my girlfriend to have to be on hormones. That's horrible. However, men can't be on hormones. Not in the same type of way. The rate of suicidality was too high, and it didn't work. It made us impotent as well, I believe. Horrible, horrible stuff. Now, that's not to say that female birth controls aren't horrible, but they're not suicidal. They're not impotent. But I'm on a tangent, and I wasn't meant to be. We were talking about the Putlo affair. So yeah, this guy is a political agent of Russia, under different pseudonym than Egor Putilov. There is no Tobias Lagerfeld registered in Sweden, and as Lagerfeld's photo, a picture of Russian PR specialist Alexei Semenov living in Moscow was used. Let's see here. I've not actually. Is it still there? Yeah, way back machine. Thank you. What? No. For real? Let's see if I can't. Ge asylsökande papperslösa. Yeah. And we can translate. Thank you. Why don't we read the article and see how good faith it is? Okay. Kent Ekeroth, recent proposal to limit asylum seekers' right to demonstrate. To demonstrate. That's Kent Ekeroth is a Sweden Democrat. He's a he used to be a top candidate. He is now living in not Turkey. Oh my God, he is living in Hungary. I knew it was food related. And since he's living in Hungary, you can probably assume what's his politics are. Recent proposal limits asylum seekers' right to demonstrate, and subsequent discussion highlighted that our democracy excludes a large group of residents, namely asylum seekers and the undocumented. For some reason, it seems to be given that the right to vote is based on legal citizenship. This view cannot be called anything but archaic and dated. Article 2 of the UN Convention of Civil... Whatever. You know what? I regretted this as soon as I started reading. I'm sorry. Who cares? Who cares? It's all lies. We're going back to English. Later in September, the businesses gained new momentum when it became known that under his then real name, the taken Swedish name Alexander Fridback, he made a house purchase where the seller was a Russian entrepreneur from St. Petersburg. The property outside Stockholm was bought at a heavily discounted price of 6 million kronor, which is around 600,000 euros. Half as much as the entrepreneur himself paid for the house. The property was then immediately resold by Igor Putilov at full market price. In 2 months, a profit of over 6 million kronor was made. He resigned from his position at the Sweden Democrats' parliamentary office when the house affair became known. When the far-right and socially conservative side of Piklas changed its name to Samhällsnytt, Igor Putilov became part of the editorial team together with the Sweden Democrats' former economic policymaker Erik Almqvist. The Putilov affair became relevant again in February 2018 when his former client, the newspaper Arbetaren, stated, that's the newspaper we looked at earlier, the workers' newspaper. Oh, hey, 2 viewers. Nice. Welcome. Where was that? Arbetaren stated that he had immigrated to Sweden under the name Alexander Yarevenko by having a fictitious relationship with a female Swedish citizen, and that he had tricked himself into Swedish citizenship. Later in February, but again, these people, the Swedish Democrats, are the ones who's going to tell you that immigrants are dangerous. Immigrants need to be curtailed. Because they'll do shit like this. And then they do shit like this themselves. Later in February 2018, it became known that Igor Putilov applied for asylum in Sweden as early as 2003 under the name Yuri Popov, who, unless you're a Russian agent, why else would you need to have this many pseudonyms? But had his asylum application rejected in 2005. According to his own statement, he had fled torture and homophobic persecution in Russia together with his boyfriend. They appeared publicly with their own story at Stockholm Pride 2005, and Putilov was interviewed under the name Popov in RFSL's newspaper Kom Ut. That's out of the closet, I guess. I'll translate it too. Another noteworthy circumstance is that Igor Putilov had protected personal data between 2000 and... Yeah, okay. Not protected personal data. His personal data was protected. He has a protected status. Between 2012 and November 2017, he has stated that this was because he lived under threat and worked in dangerous areas abroad as a journalist. Here's the thing. This dude has done everything that the Sweden Democrats accuse others of doing. This dude is what they want, what they don't want. Yet, this is the dude that they go to for this type of work. He disseminates so much disinformation, and they love it. But they would never criticize him. He is going to be the last one to be deported. Let's see here. Is there anything else I want to mention here? Why can't I translate this? Thank you. Sure, why not? Let's see what Expo. Expo is a anti-fascist news organization. They have explicit, rules. Oh God, I need chat on screen. Rules for thee, not for me. Yeah, exactly. It's the standard fascist ideology, more or less. The Social Democrats' statement about SD security threats, threatening connections, have been questioned. Above all, from SD representative, of course they're gonna question their own security threat. But the fact remains, SD refuses to deal with party's representatives' connections to Russia and criminal motorcycle gangs. It is the party's evasive and lax attitude that makes it a security threat, writes Expo's Erik Glad. It's really, I mean, everything that SD levies against you, it should be levied against themselves, really. There's no going on. If they get access to government, the highest positions in government, that's gonna be devastating for Sweden, really. If they get a coalition government created with the other right wing parties, it's there are far right biker gangs in Sweden. I don't know if I would call them far right. Necessarily, not explicitly far right, at least. I'd rather call they're MC gangs. They're a biker gang. They're gonna be the amount of far right individuals inside the biker gangs are gonna be higher than usual. I mean, certainly higher than other gangs, right? But being in a gang kind of makes you more kind of makes you more, it raises the odds of you being far right. I mean, you are using fascist tactics in biker gangs to get your will, aren't you? You know what? I know what we're gonna do. I know who we're gonna look at. Fågelklo? And Fågelklo, the chairman in Sweden's second largest city. He had some incidents a few years ago. He had an account. He had an account in what I can only describe as the Swedish equivalent of 8chan or 4chan. Flashback, it's called. It's a forum that's been around since the early days of the internet. Sweden was early out with the internet. I wouldn't be surprised if... when was 4chan founded? 2003. När grundades Flashback? Yeah. See, 2000. It's older than 4chan. That's the 2000. That's how old it is. It's located, I believe it has its headquarters in New York, actually, because I don't think they can be in Sweden without, fear of being shut down quite easily. Because there are a lot of illegal shit going on there. If you want to know where to buy drugs in Sweden, you go to Flashback. If you want... I'm sure there's pedophilia on Flashback. We can go there. Not there. Not there. But we can go to flashback.org, I believe. Yeah. Here we are. And can we translate it? Yes, we can. Yeah, you have drugs. Isn't it? Okay, no. Departments. There we go. Computer and IT, drugs, economy, vehicles and traffic, home residence and family. Okay, let's go to home residency, children and family. Let's see how quick we can get to racism from here. It's probably quite high. Blown by KK. Oh, God. Oh, my God. That's fuck buddy. KK. Fuck buddy. 5-year-old drove a car in Halmstad. Oh, my God. That's next to my hometown. Why am I here? Child free over 30. How do you live? Ugly baby names. Departments back. Culture and media. Okay. Drugs. Let's see what people are saying about cannabis, huh? When hash smells very good but tastes like nothing. Maybe smoking poo at dangerously high level. CBD oil. I'm guessing... Oh my God. You may be smoking poo at dangerous... I often question how people buy on the street. And in the latest issue of the Narcotics Police magazine, I saw... They have a magazine? I saw a while ago when I read that someone did a study that confirms how bad it actually is. You know that kind of hash that comes wrapped in lots of plastic and isn't pressed into cookies? Almost definitely always contains poo, as it's either been in someone's ass or gone through the whole system. The chance of there being poo is 93%, 40% smelled apparently poo too. Oh my God. Okay, I'm glad I don't do that. I do not do that. At the moment. What? Yes. Okay, so here is... Again, the number one person in Sweden's second largest city. This is him. And this is what he's been up to. And remember, or not remember, let me tell you that SD, Sweden Democrats, have an official zero tolerance policy for Nazi sympathizers. They have a zero tolerance policy. So I'm looking forward to this bitch getting ousted. She won't be, though. She won't be, because the base is behind her on it. So she will most likely not be excluded from the party. Let's return to Fågelklo. The security expert Joachim von Braun makes the assessment that Jürgen Fågelklo is the author behind Afghan. He highlights similarities in wording and points to an illogical timeline in the SD Top's history. I can't see any other reasonable explanation to that, he says. Joachim von Braun has worked, I don't care. His Säpo is Swedish security police. I'm guessing, yeah, they're kind of the Secret Service of Sweden. And the military intelligence and security service, he has been hired as an expert witness in identity creation cases and specializes in open source intelligence. That sounds really interesting, actually. Oh my god. I would too like to be an open source intelligence expert. Putting puzzles with clues on the web, as it puts it. Putting puzzles with clues... Huh? Doing puzzles with clues on the web. Aftonbladet has let von Braun have access to material with screenshots from SD Top Jürgen Fågelklo's open social media and post that Afghan... The commas are not there in translations. That Afghan has written on the Flashback forum. Von Braun believes it is the same author. I base it on the similarities in expressions used, knowledge of different topics covered in the conversations that has been copied. Is it likely that someone hacked his email to register account and wrote the posts? No, it would have been if it had happened over a relatively short period of time. Now it is about so many years. That someone would have sat on the material for so long, I don't think is credible. The Flashback account Afghan was registered in 2005. Between 2010 and 2011, a number of racists and anti-Semitic posts were written under the signature. This was revealed in a leak in 2015, and Fågelklo has been asked about connections several times over the years. He claims he is not the one who wrote it. If it is, as he says, that information what information would the Afghan user need to embezzle? If you want to imitate a person in a credible way, you have to pick up various unusual things in the language in order to imitate the other person. But the whole does not indicate that. I think everything indicates that it is Fågelklo, who is both himself and the other identity. I think it is the same person. Let's see here. What I want to see... Okay, yeah, this is quite long. I don't... Where is it? Can we just get the... Oh, you know what? Flashback. Let's do a quick search.
Jürgen Fågelklo är Sverigedemokraternas starke man i Göteborg och han står partiledare.
Got up. Search username. I have to log in. Okay. Let me see the evidence. Okay, so this is... Yeah, he called himself Lord Afghan on a game site. I'm guessing Steam or something. The user Afghan also says on Flashback that he has previously written the same thing in English. A post I wrote over 5 years ago in English. I have a morning ritual that I need to share. I call it the Terminator. Lord Afghan. First, I crouch down in the shower in the classic naked Terminator traveling through time pose. With my eyes closed, I crouch. Wait. This needs more dramatization. Dramatization. There you go. First, I crouch down in the shower in a classic naked Terminator traveling through time pose. With my eyes closed. I crouched there for a minute. Visualizing either Arnold or the guy from the second movie. Not the chick in the third one, because that one sucked. And I start to hum the Terminator theme. Then, I slowly rise to a standing position and open my eyes. It helps me to proceed through my day as an emotionless cyborg badass. The only problem is, if the shower curtain sticks to my Terminator leg, it ruins the fantasy. What a fucking clown. Oh my god. What a fucking dork. And also, what's his name? And the director, what's his name? James Cameron on why T2 was a cop. It's true. James Cameron on why he made the villain T-1000 a cop in Terminator 2. Cops think of all non-cops as less than they are, stupid, weak, and evil. They dehumanize the people they are sworn to protect and desensitize themselves in order to do that job. And this guy's like, oh yeah, that's me. Oh yeah. And here he is on flashback under the Afghan name, saying the exact same thing, except in Swedish. But the party, the Sweden Democrats, couldn't exclude him despite all that. This is all I would need to say it's the same person. Now, why wasn't he excluded? Why? Well, first, let's just see what more he has said, actually, before we go there. Let's not put the cart before the horse. Let's see here. What? No. Let's see here if I can translate it when I find it. Here we go. This, you can probably guess, if my current viewer, could type, what do they think this word means? I wonder. It is, however, the root of all evil. But of course, we are going to defeat all forms of evil in our own country. Yeah. It's the Jews. The Jew is the root of all evil. Do you know what this word means? I give you a hint. I can't say it in English. Oh, did he? I completely missed that. Oh, yeah. Sieg Heil. Huh. There we go. Yep. Oh. And this word. Yeah, you can't. It's the N-word. It's the N-word. Let me go on a tangent. I fucking hate. I understand that you can't call people the N-word. But when I talk about people using the N-word, when I quote them, I do think I should be allowed to use it. Because I don't want to sanitize what they said. You know? Does that make sense? Is it just me? I don't want to sanitize them, you know? Oop, wrong button. Also wrong button. There we go. Anyway, but of course, we should defeat all forms of evil in our own country. Like the... You know what? I'm gonna use the most... I think I can get away with this. And it is more accurate, actually. In our own country, like the Negro. Can I say Negro? I believe I can say Negro. The camel... Fösare. The camel herder. Pedophile worshipper. And other violent people. Based on the words after it, I think you have to have some level of sanitizing. Herder is better than what I thought. No. Oh, Camille first. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's not fucker. It's not gonna be camel fucker. Yeah, this is all I... Like, the whole Terminator story... That's all I need to connect the two accounts. This, and he is not excluded. Sweden Democrats have officially had a zero tolerance policy against every type of Nazism. If you have any sympathizing opinions with Nazis, you should be excluded from that party. Yet he is not. And I wonder... here we can see Jimmy Åkesson, this guy, and Jörgen Fågelklo, this guy, during a bender. They were partying and they took this photo at a photo booth. Why two straight men would go into a photo booth, I have no idea. I mean, I'm fine with it. I'm happy for them. But I have questions. I'm not gonna lie, I have questions. So, it's clear they are close friends. And if you're close friends with Jimmy, you can do whatever you want as long as they can have a reason to keep you inside the party. That's who the Sweden Democrats are at the heart of it all. Because Jimmy joined the party in 1995. 1995, their leadership put up stickers like this, which says, "Keep Sweden Swedish," with the explicit message that immigration wasn't welcome. I used to see these stickers when I grew up. They were all over the place. They were, when he joined the party, they were an explicitly Nazi party. Jimmy has maintained the statement that he had no idea. How could he know they were Nazis? Oh my God! They're Nazis? Oh. I just wanted to party with people who look like me, who talk like me, and who heil like me. I didn't know they were actually Nazis. Why would I know that? Oh, how could I ever? That's who Jimmy is. He is a crypto Nazi. Because as you can see, from 1995 and forward, after he joined the party, it started to moderate itself. It removed the bandage, or the what's called the armband. And yeah, it's that armband, by the way. No. Yeah, here we go. This guy was one of the founders of the Sweden Democrats. It was founded in 1988, a year after I was born, by a true Nazi. Oh, okay, I've been at this for 2 hours. It is truly disturbing what is happening right now in Sweden. I am disturbed by the future of my country. Sweden has always been able to pride itself on being a humanitarian superpower, but we can only pride ourselves on that as long as we're actually humanitarian and not outright Nazis. Having the largest Nazi party, having the largest party with Nazi roots in the world is disheartening. I'm not gonna lie. I've always looked at Denmark, Norway, Finland. It's kind of like, far right, because they have been historically compared to us. But we are slowly, not so slowly, we are quickly making strides on that note. We are catching up and surpassing quickly. Yeah. Before I go though, do you remember, Polytunes, if you want to continue, do you remember Ace of Base? All that you want is another baby. The 90s hyper pop. You do not. Where are you from, Polly? How can you not be aware of who Ace of Base is? Let's see how much I can get away with. I don't want remixes. Let's go with Happy Nation. Okay. Oh, the sign. Okay, let's go with the sign. You've probably heard this if you're born in the 90s. Let's jump in. Yeah. These guys. Let's me go back. Let's see, what's his name? Which one is it? It's one of the guys. And this is the last thing I do before I leave. No? His name is Buddha? Where is it? Really? They're not gonna... Okay. Let's see. I think it's this guy. Ulf Ekberg. Okay, what's him? Ace of Base's secret Nazi past. Yeah, you've heard that song. And here is one of the guys who sang it or wrote it and everything. Before he founded Ace of Base, Ulf Ekberg was a neo-Nazi skinhead. Did Ekberg use Ace of Base success as an opportunity to raise his neo-Nazi past and rise to a position of geopolitical influence? The internet has left us with unprecedented skepticism towards innocence in the age of Elliot Spencer and Anthony Weiner. Anthony Weiner, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. It seems literally impossible for any public figure. A reverse Chumbawamba. yeah, pretty much. It seems literally impossible for any public figure to exist without at least one skeleton clawing its way out of the closet. We even expect simple pleasures like reggae-influenced Swedish pop group Reggae. I'm guessing they're reggae, a little reggae. I saw the sign. I can see that as having a backbeat, I guess. Reggae-influenced Swedish pop group Ace of Base to have a few secrets kicking around. Ulf Ekberg, a founding member of Ace of Base, started his career as a neo-Nazi skinhead. Not only that, he created a platform for his ideal through his Nazi punk band Commit Suicide, misspelled, which sang songs with explicit racist lyrics. How explicit you might say? Here's a little example. I'll just read the translation. Men in white hoods march down the road. We enjoy ourselves when we're sawing off. Oh my god, I hate it. N-words heads. Immigrant, we hate you. Out, 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 out. Nordic people, wake up now. Shoot, 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 shoot. In addition to performing with Commit Suicide, Ekberg was also a member of Sweden Democrats. We get those backs. A political party that has publicly rejected any ties to neo-Nazism. This is interesting considering the fact that the group was founded by Nazis and active members still maintain connections with contemporary hate groups. For example, Anders Klarström, the former head of the Sweden Democrats, funny enough, Klarström was also a member of Commit Suicide with Ekberg. The connections. I actually didn't know this before. I didn't even remember him being a member of the Sweden Democrats. I absolutely didn't remember him, or the head of the Sweden Democrats, being a member of the same band as him. This is wild. Around the time that the band disbanded in 1986, Klarström was convicted of illegal firearms possession, as well as sending death threats to a Jewish theater director and entertainer named Hagge Gigert, who was publicly outspoken against racism and neo-Nazism. At the time, Klarström referred to Gigert as a Jew pig and threatened to burn him. And this guy went on to create one of the biggest pop songs in history, actually. It's crazy. Is the stream that lagging in time? You just now said it's pretty insane, yeah? Can we do a test? Just write hi. Okay. I just want to know how far off the stream was. Yeah, I'm gonna sign off before I depress myself with the future of Sweden even more. Oh yeah. Okay. I gotcha. I I'm gonna play Swedish reggae before we go off. I want to know if I can get away with this, if YouTube doesn't hurt me. Because Swedish music is not defined by the pop we export. I just want to say that. Oh boy, vilket vackert väder. I know YouTube is ban happy, but I'm a small channel. I can probably get away with it. Pep's Passion. I don't know if it's true. I've never been able to confirm it, but I've heard that what's his name? The reggae legend. Oh my god, what's his name? Bob Marley. I've heard that Bob Marley said, Sabaton, really? I've been in their studio, actually. We're not defined by Sabaton at all. If anything, we're defined by ABBA. Even Sabaton is defined by ABBA. But no, here is what rumored to be Swedish reggae's. Let me take that again. Bob Marley is rumored to have said that Pep's Passion, this guy, is the only guy outside of Jamaica that understands reggae. Do you want to hear him sing reggae? You're gonna hear it even if you don't want to. So I'm gonna play it even if you haven't. Sure, there we go. This is Swedish reggae.
Vilka glada toner det rycker och spritter i mig. Wobble, 1000 miljoner kramar vill jag ge dig. Jag tänk att det kan vara så lätt ibland, så enkelt som att sträcka ut en hand och torka gruset.
This guy was based as fuck. He was left wing, of course. I believe he was socialist. Right. You can see why it's earned the praise from Bob Marley. It's spot on reggae. It's spot on. It's so fucking good. This guy smoked a ton of weed. He is. Sadly, he went away. He passed away, I believe, last year. Old as fuck. But yeah, that's Swedish reggae for you. I just wanted to end on a positive note instead of a depressing one. Oop. Thank you, Platoons, for being in chat, for entertaining, helping me entertain myself and you, and hopefully other viewers. Next time, I'll probably be doing a stream. I had a thing I wanted to do. Oh, right. I'm gonna do a stream next time on a person named Deandra T. Brown, who is an amazing person. She is a bad movie maker, a bad music maker, a bad everything, pretty much. You can just see from the titles here, from the thumbnails. However, I love her. I'm a fan. As much of a fan as one can be of bad movie makers and bad music makers. I am one of those with her, for sure. Well, thank you, Polytunes. Thank you. This is my second stream, so I'm still figuring out, I'm still working out the kinks, trying to get comfortable with it. It's quite it is different from anything else you would do, really. It is hard to just sit here and ramble and do commentary. But yeah, I enjoy it, and otherwise I wouldn't go on for almost half an hour. But yeah, thank you for being in chat, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Have a good evening, and yeah, take care. Thank you.